According to Japanese legends, two people who are connected by the red string are bound together by fate itself. They're destined to meet in this life or the next. Such is the story of the brave soldier and the town's thief. On a clear spring day, Fujiwara Nakano, the fiercest warrior in the entire valley, had finally returned after reigning victorious in the war with the neighboring kingdom. Nakano was known for her strength and quick thinking on the battlefield, but everyone knew that it was because of growing up in the military since 13 that had sharpened her senses. With no one to greet her return, her house looked abandoned and miserable. Shuffling of steps echoed from the garden outside, and sheathing her sword, she rushed outside to be greeted by a man dressed in all blue, placing a vase inside his bag. As soon as he saw Nakano, he jumped the wall and ran into the streets. Unable to catch up to the thief, she returned back, promising to catch him by tomorrow's sunset. Itoharu was the infamous town thief that no guard was able to catch. He only stole whatever would buy him a nice shelter and some good food for a day. Never less, never more. Thrilled that he barely escaped, Haru wandered the streets cautiously on the lookout for the woman. The sun started setting into the arms of the mountains as Haru sat underneath the red cherry blossoms. "Got you!" Nakano squealed in joy as she lightly pressed her sword to his neck. Haru held the glinting edge with his hands and threw her off balance, knocking the sword out of her reach. Legend has it that they fought through the night, blood flowing from their faces to their hands. In the end, instead of killing one another, they ended up striking an agreement. The day Itoharu becomes part of the king's army, that day they would battle to their deaths as soldiers with equal training. Since the army held examinations, Haru visited Nakano every day to practice, and in return, she gave a roof over his head and food to live on. Slowly, the days started passing by, and they started growing closer. Soon, Haru was ready to pass his exams. With a talisman and a wishing palak which she hung on the cherry blossom tree they fought underneath, Nakano wished her soulmate good luck. On the 7th day of the 7th lunar moon, he returned back home and rushed into her arms. Haru explained how he was given the position for the palace guard and the life he wished for when he was away. Nakano and Haru spent the next few months as a married couple until a parchment arrived stating that she was needed at the borders for the next war. In tears, Haru begged Nakano not to leave, saying that he couldn't stand their separation. Brushing her hands over his hair, Nakano reassured him that she would come back and they would both be able to live a happy life. The war lasted an entire year. Casualties were uncountable on both sides. Haru tried to go to battle too, to be as close to Nakano as possible. But being the palace guard, he had to look over the royal family. He never gave up hope, and every night he would imagine his smiling wife looking over him. Soon, the war came to an end and Haru rushed back home to feel the warmth of Nakano again. His smile dropped as he was greeted by an urn placed on the table. He sobbed her names continuously, holding the urn next to him. The dirty note placed next to it read, "My dear Haru, I'm sorry for promising things I couldn't fulfill in the end. We couldn't be together in this life, but I promise you, in the next life, through the thread of fate, we will meet once again. Love, Ito Nakano." And so Itoharu continued his life as the palace guard until he died of old age. Legend has it that on his deathbed, Haru talked about finally receiving Nakano's warmth as he left the world.